Good morning, good morning. So just wanted to jump on here really quick. And I just wanted to, I don't know, I guess it's story time. Um, so those of you who are single, especially those of you who have gone through a divorce and you are now single and you are now trying to put your feet out there and see what this dating pool is. I'm going to let you know, don't give up hope. Don't be discouraged. Um, there's a love story out there for everybody. For those who want it, there is definitely a love story. There can and will be a happy ending if that's what you desire, if that's what you're looking for. I will say that even in the midst of your dating and figuring things out, I believe, and I am a witness to it, that when you put God first and when you make him your number one priority, when you begin to seek after him, doesn't mean that you can't date, doesn't mean that you can't flirt, doesn't mean that you can't put yourself out there, but you have to make sure that he is the center of everything that you do and every decision that you make. Even when it comes down to meeting people, God allowed us to be able to ask the Holy Spirit to guide us, to give me the discernment of what drives the person that I'm getting ready to meet or the person that I'm involving myself in. When you take God out of the equation is when chaos and when hurt, when pain, when disappointment, when betrayal can come in, because you don't have that center. And see, because God is love, he's not going to allow you or put you in a position where it's going to hurt you. Now, there is times that he will test you. There are times when he's going to put you in uncomfortable situations, but it's never to hurt you. It is always to elevate you. So with that, some of you know, but some of you do not know. I have been divorced, not once, but twice. I married my ex-husband twice. But this last time the divorce was on different grounds. It was on, I'll just be honest, it was on the grounds of betrayal. It was on the grounds of, not only did you betray me, but you continued to keep that communication open with that person. Which led me to making the decision that pretty much if you can't let go of that person, even though I'm willing to forgive you, then that means that I'm not for you and you're not for me. Let me make this straight. We are good. My ex husband and I, we are good. And yes, I have forgiven him. And I hope he has forgiven himself. And we are on good speaking terms. We would do great-ish in the co-parenting thing. But you know, that's still a trial. That's still an error. That's still some growth that can be there. But I did the dating scene, and let me tell you, there was some weirdos out there. I definitely came across some weirdos. I definitely came across some lessons. One of my lessons that I learned, because I'm a nice and I'm a kind person, that doesn't mean that everybody deserves my kindness, and doesn't mean everybody deserves the grace that I can give them. And right when I was getting ready to give up, I was on Facebook dating site. And right when I was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm just going to focus on ministry. I'm going to focus on my children. I'm going to focus on myself, and that'll be it all. A particular person came across my page. And normally, if you know me, and those of you who don't, I either prefer you to be white, or prefer you to be my skin color or darker. I prefer that light skin, because I have this free notion that light skinned men, they're cocky, they're conceited, and they're just not for me. And yes, that is based off some personal experience. But I'm also realizing, learning that some things you just got to learn to let go and move on, because everybody is not your past. Everybody is not out there to hurt you. So long story short, this really, really light-skinned, bald head, really lanky guy liked my profile. And at first I was like, nah, he's light-skinned. It's not going to work. But before I knew it, I ended up liking his page back. And I can remember our very first conversation was like, well, how's your dating site going? And he was like, yeah, well, I'm still here. So I guess kind of answered. I was like, yeah. And he was like, you know, we both were like, well, there's some weird people out there, some catfishing people, some people who say they want what we want, but they really don't. They just use our words to try to, see if they can set a foundation. So we just got to talking, and our conversation was more like, I know you already. We cool, we're friends. I feel like I can tell you anything. So we chatted over the internet for a while. And then one day, July 24th, we were like, hey, we're going to meet. So we met. When I met him, Let me back up before I met him. Our conversation that led us to continue the conversation is, I asked him, I said, what are you looking for? And his words was, I'm looking for my wife. And my response was, and no, I didn't think it through, and no, I wasn't trying to be cliche or just spiritually deep, but I said the truth, and I said, well, I am a wife. And from there, it intrigued our conversation, because I feel, and so does he. He feels that if you are a wife and you're called to be a wife, I don't have to explain to you what that looks like. I don't have to break it down what the things that God has equipped you to do as a wife, as a helpmate. And no difference than if you say that you are looking for your wife, that means you are telling me that you are a husband. That means you are ultimately prepared to be the head, to be the covering, that you have a relationship. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you have an actual foundational relationship with Christ. So I didn't have to go into details what I wanted, what I was looking for. In the midst of this, I was with a group called Here Comes the Bride. In the Here Comes the Bride, it teaches you how to walk into forgiving yourself and how to reconnect with God. But it also taught you how to manifest what it is that you want. So I had a book in there, and I drew my wedding dress. I drew the engagement wedding ring that I wanted. And in the back of that book, I wrote down the prayer of what I want in my husband. I want my husband to be like David. I want him to be like Solomon. I wanted him to be like Malachi. I didn't ask for, I need him to be 6'9". I need to be this. I need him to be this color. Because what in there, I put in the characteristics of things that God instilled in certain particular men that change and set a foundation for greatness. So that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted someone that I can build with, but I also wanted somebody that I need. The things that I am not good at, the things that I am weak in, that he is definitely strong and he can excel in that, and vice versa. So that's what I was looking for. So, long story short, I met my husband on July 24th. From July 24th, we were literally, when I mean inseparable, even down to the point where he works third shift. We would sit on each other, on the phone with each other. I would be asleep, he would be at work. And I worked during the day. When I'm at work, he was at home on the phone, sleep. We just wanted to always be around each other. From there, we had a conversation, and I talked about marriage. I said, hey, when do you see yourself getting married? He was like 3 to 5 years. I said, okay. And I walked away, and not quite underneath my breath, but low enough. And I said, before the end of this year. I had that much faith. And I was just like, okay, we let it go, and we went about our business, and we spent time with each other. I met his children. He met my children, and everything just seemed to fit with ease. So October 14th, we went over to his oldest daughter's house to eat and just to mingle with the kids and stuff. And he got on one knee and he proposed to me. And I said, okay, so this is what we're doing. And then from there, when a man knows what he wants, he moves swiftly. He moves with intentions. And a lot of things that he was doing behind the scene, I wasn't aware of, but he knew what he wanted, and he knew that I was the one for him, just as well as I knew that he was the one for me. So he made some moves and cutting off people and taking care of some things, even down to merging bank accounts and things. Like, it was like that swift. So we had a conversation, went down to the courthouse, got a paperwork, and I told him, I said, I believe that right now that we are doing and we are responding to the call of God, which led me to the scripture, Hebrews 11:8. So I called the pastor after we agreed, and he said, let's do it. So we actually got officially married November 8th of 2024. Remember, mind you, he said 3 to 5 years, and I told him before the end of the year. But I have a different type of faith, and that's okay. I have been graced with the gift of faith. So from there, we got married, we moved in with each other into a house. I had my surgery at the end of November. He had his in the beginning of December, and I stopped working at the middle of December. So not only did I meet a man that understood me, that sees me, that had value, but we got married November 8th. I stopped working in December, and yes, there are some differences as far as raising the children and things like that, but my love story is not a fantasy. My love story is true, and it's true to me, and it's true to what I deserve and what he deserves. And I can say that no matter what it is that you face, no matter what circumstances you have been dealt with, if you want love, love is out there. But my biggest thing is heal yourself, forgive yourself, love yourself, and allow God to shower you within his presence, with his love, and everything is going to work out great. And it worked out for me. So that's my story.